Oh shit.
Current events.
Oh shit.
I was like, oh, see, it's fun.
Yeah, so
It's not showing shit on YouTube either. The last piece that's even got listed there is the Tom Watts one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't even know where Wade was watching from YouTube on, because it's not fucking showing. Let's try to look. Okay, there we go. And wait a minute.
Well, I just hit go live again, like 45 seconds ago.
Okay, now it's showing that as live. All right, yeah, I can see myself on screen looking fucking down at my phone. God damn it, motherfucker! What the fuck?
We have a viewer. Welcome back, whoever you are. Oh, wait, it's Trisha, right?
It was.
I didn't even go to Facebook this time because, well.
Can y'all hear Trisha now?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, we can hear
No,
her.
I mean, the audience, John.
John's just like, yeah, dude.
Like, you're in the studio, too. Of course you can hear.
I don't know what the hell's going on, though. We're never going to be able to publish this to goddamn podcast platforms.
We would have
Natalie
to cut
can hear you. Wade can hear you.
All right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and then cut out all the what the fuck. So yeah.
Where do we start?
Whoopee!
Where the fuck were we?
Whoopee!
Whoopee?
Yeah.
Man. This
Well, and the problem is, we don't have to get into the details of why, but this is a common thing that we have also dealt with more than once this week. So, apparently, it's even in leftist spaces that people are ignorant about these things.
Yes. Because, okay, given that ethnic Jews moved from the Middle East to Europe fucking thousands of years ago, along with, I don't know, lots of other people mass migrating all over the fucking world, there's a significant number of ethnic Jews that lived in Europe for a long time. Along the way, yeah, a lot of them intermarried with white Europeans. And therefore we have Ashkenazi, who are very white adjacent, white presenting Jews. But when it comes down to it, ethnic Jews come in every fucking shade of the rainbow. Every shade of hair color, every shade of eye color, every shade of pigment you can possibly fucking think of. So there's a huge misconception that has happened where people just presume that Jews are white. Let me tell you, Jews are not Aryan. Okay, when it comes down to what is definitively quote-unquote white, we are talking Aryan. And the most common that you would have seen amongst ethnic Jews coming from the Middle East, the most common point of there being any Aryan blood would have actually been from brown original Aryans, which are Punjabi, the Romani, which are from India. Okay, so like if anything, that's pretty much the limit of any actual Aryan blood in ethnic Jews coming from the Middle East to anywhere else was, you know, that there was a lot of intermarriage with Romani, because as both being traveling people, there was a lot of intermarriage happening there. However, with a lot of the intermarriage and a lot of conversions happening in, we now have this false presumption of Jews being white people. And that's it. when that's not the fucking case at all.
Would you say that this could be leading up to a point where they try to justify doing something like that again, simply because they're brushing Jews in with white people? Like, it's a way of minimizing what the problem is.
Well, I
Yes.
mean, first of all, what exactly did she say?
She said that the Nazis were simply white people attacking other white people, which might have applied to a smaller number of, white people who had converted to Judaism as in the religion, but you can't convert your fucking genetics, okay?
No, and I mean, there's people that
incorrect.
do. There's like specifically a lot of comedians that like I see that are like actors and stuff like that in movies. Like you can tell what Jewish features are in that kind of context. Like I don't understand how people don't. I mean, their noses are very specifically like in a certain type of way. Like if they are like, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but
it's Middle Eastern bone structure.
Yeah.
If you look at, archaeological
and the curly and the dark curly hair too, like I mean, there's terms like Jewfro, like I don't use them, but like I mean, they're very specific features, so I don't understand why people don't realize. I don't know,
but it's another fucking form of whitewashing and erasure of ethnic identity. Okay, when there's countless fucking races that are pale skinned but not white. And
yeah,
in most cases you don't see people, confusing Asians for being white simply because most of them are pale. No, because they recognize, hey, bone
that's what's so weird.
Wait a minute, it's Asian features, but they don't do that with us. They look at us and go, oh, you must be white because you're fucking pale, without recognizing Middle Eastern fucking bone structure. And that's before we even get to the fact ethnic Jews come in every shade of the rainbow, as fuck to dark as night. You cannot sit here and go, this is not a race issue, when specifically the Nazis said flat out that they found themselves, the Aryans, to be quote unquote racially fucking superior. It was a race war, and they were trying to annihilate the Jewish race, the Jewish ethnicity. And that's a point of contention that a lot of people also don't understand, because they think in religion, and religion is only one facet of it, because to be Jewish is an ethnicity, a culture, and a religion. You can convert to the religion, but you can't convert your fucking genetics. So, that's a point of it's.
She said, this is white people doing it to white people. So y'all going to fight amongst yourselves.
Right. And it's like, back the fuck.
Wow.
I mean, she's basically just, she just completely swept 6 million people under the rug and acted like it was not her problem.
Right. And like it was not a fucking racial ethnic cleansing.
And I mean, not that it's not her problem, like she had anything to do with that, because obviously she didn't have anything to do with that culturally or today or anything. But I mean, it is a responsibility to not let that happen again. I mean, that's what we're constantly telling white people that they need to do, is to be responsible for the things that they may contribute to without knowing it, and to try to educate themselves. And for some reason, she thinks that she does not also have to do that whenever she's talking about an atrocity that did not happen to her people specifically. And it's weird, because she should understand something like that better than me.
And the reason that I wanted to address her being a shit lib is because she was like talking trash about conservatives wanting to ban mouse.
Yeah. Because it speaks honestly about the ethnic cleansing that happened in the Holocaust. And to really talk about that, we can't just include the Jewish people were annihilated in the Holocaust, but the Romani as well. There was a lot of Romani who were also in those fucking death camps. There was a lot of people who were pushed into those death camps for even having other adjacent Middle Eastern ethnicity, as well as whites who had converted to Judaism or were even in support of Jews not being fucking genocided there, you know? So there was a lot of people who were flat out fucking just murdered by the Nazis because of this. And that attitude still carries on today. There is still fucking severe amounts of anti-Semitism happening, not just in Europe, but right fucking here. We just had to deal with this with another quote unquote fucking leftist who is completely fucking ignorant to this as well. And so we really feel fucking address this because this has infiltrated the lines of thinking of people who are claiming to want to be comrades, to want to be allies, yet committing the same fucking types of erasure. I snapped the fuck off on this bitch last week because she had the audacity to try to tell me that Jewish people don't have to fucking deal with racism and anti-Semitism and threat of harm, injury, or death here in the States when we absolutely fucking do. She made the fucking mistake of saying that to a woman who is part Jewish and who has had to deal with fucking neo-Nazis trying to fucking come at me. I've literally had them try to fucking kill me for helping one of their wives escape their fucking abuse while being Jewish. So, to anybody out there who is still completely fucking ignorant to this, here's your fucking sign, here's your fucking wake-up call that, yeah, this is still a fucking problem. And people trying to commit erasure across the fucking board, not only of what happened in the Holocaust, but what is still fucking happening today, need their heads checked. Fucking straight up. This is fucking unreal that people are still ignorant to this. After how many years, how many opportunities to learn this? This is even part of school and has been for fucking decades to learn about what happened in the Holocaust and why. So I'd love to know, like, what types of fucking erasure are even happening right there in the school system of it not being acknowledged that this was a fucking ethnic cleansing. And still
I think
is.
it's really
Well, I
weird
mean,
that
in
this is
terms
becoming.
of the Holocaust, we can't forget that we've already been committing erasure in our fucking school curriculums for decades by, claiming that it was us that liberated the fucking concentration camps. That was the
Fuck no,
Red
it's the Red
Army.
Army.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really easy to think that you have a grasp on that history and how wrong it was when you think that you're the good guys when you really weren't. But it's really weird that all of this is coming up now, like in media and in I mean, if you open Netflix, it's like Hitler, motherfucking Hitler, inside job, Hitler. And so it's really weird that this is selling, but nobody really actually knows what's going on. And I feel kind of responsible for the entire thing that happened Saturday before the whole Whoopi thing, because apparently we just don't talk about this enough, because I went for 6 months not knowing that she
Is
was
racist.
anti-Semitic.
Yeah. And I mean, the killer part being that, she's a Middle Eastern woman in total fucking denial of, her own cousins being an actual, non-white ethnicity, being completely unaware of the very broad ethnicities involved.
I guess I just thought that there was an understanding of hatred of government in general, but either there's not, or that's not really enough. I don't know, but
I don't know. And I mean, it's one thing, okay, there's a lot of people who kind of feel awkward and on the fence about even condemning the state of Israel for their ethnic cleansing of
but you've
Palestinian
never
Arabs.
defended Israel. You've always been.
Well, no, I know, but I'm feel the need to express the fact that you can be Jewish and not be Zionist.
Well, I mean,
And you
I
can
thought that
be,
was common knowledge, but
but apparently not, because you know, a lot of people with Jewish ethnicity are not in favor of this Zionist government. And you know, we're calling out the government of Israel for its ethnic cleansing of Palestinian Arabs, you know, just as much as anybody else in the world is, you know. So I mean, I think that might be part of why what was it, Amnesty International or something that you said earlier finally recognized Israel as being an apartheid state. And so
Finally.
that's what I was referring to, of like people being on the fence because they're worried that they'll come across as anti-Semitic for condemning this government of is, but no, that's not anti-Semitic, that's anti-government, anti-fascist government, you know, because that's precisely what they are, is fascists. And they
So
are
is
fucking
most of
racist.
the West.
They're annihilating just as many Palestinian fucking Jews as they are, you know, Arabs. And also there's the factor too that a lot of Palestinian Arabic people have more ethnic Jewish DNA than who I will clearly point out as being white colonizer fucking Jewish converts are in the government who are fucking settlers. That's a problem too, is that when the Israeli state was formed, that the government was not put in the hands of Middle Eastern Jews and Palestinians who fucking lived there. It wasn't even put in the hands of like people who were ethnic mostly. It was mostly put in the hands of white European Jewish converts who are nothing but fucking colonizers in the Middle East. So there's a fucking problem there because we're seeing the same types of
I
like
mean, those
Nazi
people.
type attitude and fucking actions coming out in them as what we had to deal with in fucking Europe from the literal fucking Nazis.
Those
We're
people
seeing
are the
tolerance.
people. Those people are the people that are buying all of Tulsa right now and sending their family over to serve in the Israeli army. Like these kinds of white people that use
Mhm.
all of these. They use
Right.
Jewish names, but they're really just. They're like the fucking
They're-
overlords, and they're the overlords of Tulsa, and they're the overlords of fucking Israel.
and their behavior is Nazi.
Yeah, and
That's
now they
something
cover it
that
all up by calling it a philanthropic or organization.
Oh, speaking on that, let's go Palestine, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
right.
Oh yeah, here's my
Nice
Sudan
hat.
hat. Thanks.
Nice damn hat.
Dude, that's man, crazy shit going on over there. Dictator for 30 years, government takeover, and government doesn't want to let go of the power. So that's Sudan in 10 seconds right there.
Right.
Did you
It's one of those
did
things.
you hear what happened, Trisha, with the hat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Okay.
was kind of amusing there.
Oh yeah, hold up. So yeah, I ordered this flag and this patch, and if you look, oh hang on, it's weird. The camera's opposite, so I've got to turn it. Yeah, but this is kind of weird. I have to just mix it up. I don't know. It's
You had a
funny as
brain
hell.
shark.
Yeah.
That's
Or
okay.
somebody did.
Maybe the
You just
Amazon
report-
packer person was colorblind.
Oh yeah. They're like that looks close
I mean
enough.
that
Yeah,
could be
throw that
it.
in there.
That could be why.
So speaking of like modern day people with this like Nazi mindset, man, Trump.
Oh God, this fucking piece of shit's still at it.
I Yeah, I'm sick of talking about him, but on the other
Talking about
hand, the
that.
liberals are trying to act like he doesn't exist anymore, and that's
Because they
exactly
want to
what
go
the
back to the
liberals
grunge.
did. Exactly, and that's exactly what the liberals did in fucking 1930s Germany, or 1920s, I should say, Germany. I
Mhm.
mean,
I will say, have you heard of moveon.org?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, they do email me about him all the time.
Oh. Well,
So
yeah, John, and that's what I'm getting to. They will let him back in. And his last few rallies, or his last two rallies, I should say, the ones that have happened in the last month, have been bigger than any of his rallies. And that should be alarming because they were already very big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really fucking just appalling to see that there's a growing number amongst the fucking, people who are supporting this total fucking racist, misogynistic, fucking asshat piece of shit going, let's get him back in office 2024 or before. And it's like, oh my fuck, they're still clinging to this bullshit about, oh, well, the election got stolen from him. No, and that's the thing. Like, okay, Biden's no better, but there was enough people that hate Trump who didn't even like Biden, but they felt like hate voting against Trump just to make sure Trump didn't fucking win. Get over it. They both fucking suck.
that's because the
you know.
system is working. That's what makes the system work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yep.
like, the crowd is honestly alarming, even. I mean, besides
Yeah.
the three strategically placed black men right behind Trump wearing Blacks for Trump shirts that were they
Right.
paid to
We're
be
all
there?
paid. We're all paid
Yeah.
to do that. To be
That
tokenized
that's what
by
I
this
was
piece
gonna
of
say.
shit.
Is like,
But like every time he stops talking, there's like somebody like, "Oh my God, I love you," or "You saved America," and it's like coming across as worship, bro. Like they are worshiping this orange piece of shit.
yes,
Right.
dude. I was just about to say that. I love how like Republican strategists are like, let's just get a few token minority people up there, and then we can persuade like an entire oppressed population to vote for the same people that are oppressing them.
Right.
I don't get it, man. It's
Right.
this is clearly a bid to win over the black population. I mean, like it's
I
literally like,
mean,
look at this show they've got going on. I
do you
mean,
think he's just trying for that more? I mean, I would see some people at Home Depot last year with Trump hats on that were black.
Well,
I
yeah,
would like try not to like stare at them because I would just be like,
why? Yeah.
just because like I mean
mean,
I'm a girl and I don't mean that, and it's weird to me because like my problem with him personally is different than other people's problem with him personally, but it's just weird to me to see somebody that is like, you're not a white man, what is going on right now?
well, there's a lot of black conservatives. I'm just confused as to, out of all the people in the Republican Party to support, why the racist one? I mean, there's more than one. He's not alone in that. But why this very clearly, blatantly racist fucking piece of shit? Why support him? I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it at all. I mean, I don't even understand white people supporting him because, they too are being oppressed by this fucking capitalist fucking shit that he
Definitely, it's just
is
not as noticeable for
fully
them.
for.
So.
But I mean, you gotta be utterly fucking blind to not see that he's a fucking racist piece of shit. He was literally raised by a father that was fucking rocking white robes, okay? Um and grandfather. And it goes on back in his fucking family. Like KKK family. Like come the fuck on.
Yeah, his family specifically had a bad relationship with Woody Guthrie as well.
Well,
yeah,
surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to dive into some of his talking points because some of it's alarming and some of it's this goddamn close, but his reasoning is fucking insane.
Well, then
Yeah.
there's parts in there where he's literally about starting a race war.
Yes. And I hope that by clicking through it as I plan to do that I will be able to find that, but yeah.
This is a big crowd. You set an all-time record. This is a big crowd. I wish the press just one time would turn those cameras around. They go back. Football fields back. Thank you. I wish they'd turn. Look at all the media. Look at all the fake news. This is Texas. Well, we love you too. We love you too. And we all got screwed together, but you know what? We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. North Korea is testing at a level like never before. The way they withdrew from Afghanistan was catastrophic and image-changing for the United States of...
That was Trump's fucking plan, by the way.
Right.
But it was
Right.
catastrophic.
America, image changing. That did so much to hurt our country. That was a moment that was so embarrassing and so horrible. Biden's weakness and incompetence is creating a very real risk of World War III. Look at what's going on. This would have never happened with us. It was never even a thought, would have never happened. If you care about your future, your family, and your country, then you have no choice. This November, you have to throw these raving lunatics the hell out of power and elect strong, smart, tough Republicans who will restore your borders, protect your safety, defend your jobs, and put America first.
Germany first, or, well, you know, that in German, was Hitler's campaign slogan. So, I mean, you know, there's a correlation right fucking there. But
And that's
listen
what
to
I'm
the
doing.
way he talks. Throw these raving lunatics out of power. Okay, but they at least accept the results of an election. And I'm not saying that the election is legit, because the entire election system is rigged. But not on election day. It's rigged before the primaries even start.
Right. But also, John T. just fucking nailed it on the head of this false fucking dichotomy, this false fucking presentation of actually having two different choices when they're both neoliberal fucking heads of the same monster. He said both sides of the neoliberal cults of the DNC and GOP want to see us dive and beat ourselves to death, and they will have their way with us for the next century because divide and conquer is the theme of a duopoly.
Agreed. And with that being said, so like, right, I remember when we first started doing the show, right, we were talking about Biden coming into power, obviously. Right after his inauguration, we had a whole conversation. It was me, you, Dean, and Sterling, I think, Trisha. That had a whole conversation about how the only campaign promise that he intended to keep was when he told his donors nothing will fundamentally change.
Bingo. Yep. That.
And I mean, it is two sides of the same coin. Look at their handling of COVID. Sure, Biden talks like it's a big deal, but he acts like it doesn't exist.
Right. Neither of them are doing anything to fucking help. This entire...
We got more stimulus out of Trump than we did out of Biden.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Which is also hilarious because they call us socialists, but like, and obviously none of it was enough, but he still gave more than the liberal did. Like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
So no wonder everybody's confused.
And kind of going back to what John T was saying, I mean, it's the classic old tale of promising, African American communities subsidies and assistance, and it's the same old thing. They every year they promise something new and nothing happens. I mean, Americans are still left sleeping under the bridge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just crazy. How did Donald Trump provide more subsidies than Joe Biden? Like that's insane.
And how did none of them ever amount to enough to even be considered reparations, let alone fucking to actually help people survive? None of those subsidies go far enough. None of them.
Yeah.
No, I've been broke for 2 fucking years. I mean, I wasn't rich before that, but like, there's no money anymore. I have 2 jobs. I can't get more than 15 hours a week out of either of them.
Right.
Right.
I don't know
And
how-
I mean,
I don't-
I don't
I didn't
know
have- I
what
didn't
rent
have
is
help. I
looking
don't
like
know.
any. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. If I didn't have help, I don't even know how I don't know how anybody actually does this, because I can't even. I'm just lucky. That's it.
Yeah, I
I've
mean, I
lived
feel that.
in a house on
And,
wheels for 10 years. That's an adult.
I
There's
mean,
no-
my rent's going up like $200, like at the end of my lease, which is in March. And it's not the first time it's gone up like that, but like, I mean, the average rents in Phoenix are like, for a house anyway, are pushing like $2,000 a month. Not everybody can live in an apartment.
Nope.
Right, especially if you have pets. Because a lot of them have stupid rules about even what kinds of dogs you can have there. And if
Yep.
you got big dogs, you just can't, and not that the apartments are even really fucking affordable either. The costs of
No, a
housing is fucking
studio's over
skyrocketing.
$1,000 a month here.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, yeah, Wade agreed. We need a general rent strike. It's fucking horrendous. This shouldn't even be a fucking thing. If something is necessary for survival, then it is a human right, not something to be profiteered from. Landlords shouldn't even be a thing.
Especially not in the sense that they are. But, I mean, like, I could understand an individual inherited a house and wanted to, like, rent it out and not charge a bunch of fucking overhead. But that's not ever how it works anymore. It's a corporate landlord trying to squeeze every fucking penny out of you that they can.
Yep. And a lot of times it's property management companies that have a contract with the property owner of here's X number of dollars that we're going to pay you every month. And, I highly doubt if they're actually getting the price hike from the owner. It's come from the property management company that just wants to increase their profit margins.
Yep.
That's not okay.
Yep. Anyway, what else does this orange baboon got to say? Hold on. Oh, Nate's here. Oh, you joined us in time for the orange baboon. The Cheeto in
orangutan?
chief.
That is quite awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I do now. At first I was wondering there, but I don't think.
Hey,
we're
what's up, buddy?
yet.
What up, brother? What are you doing?
I'm eating right now. That's why I got my camera off. I was about to pass out, y'all. I'm sorry.
You're golden. You do you, boo boo.
Keep the blood sugar levels up. Keep exchanging
Yeah.
oxygen
All right.
with your environment. Skip things.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a good thing to be able to exchange carbon for oxygen. If you can't, you're kind of dead.
Yeah.
It's like kind of what we do.
Yeah.
Did we lose Nate now? He just went bloop off the screen.
Oh, I think he turned his camera off.
Oh,
Am I back?
there you are.
Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
Just making sure all the all the tools work.
And this, as you know, has to do with immigration. Do you want me to do it?
Oh God.
So this
This
has
is
to do
called
really with immigration.
the snake.
And it's a very serious
Wait,
problem
pause real
for our
quick.
country. We have many serious problems.
Okay.
We're in the losing
So,
end.
here's the wild thing: is that most people sit there and go, "Oh yeah, he's talking about immigration," you know, like that's really fucked up shit. And then he comes right out and says, "Yeah, this is how you deal with immigration. Let's talk about the snake." And it's like, what? It just amazes me that he's so like blatant about his, you know, otherism.
his symbolism and his
Yeah.
white Christian bullshit.
Yep.
That. Yeah.
That, yeah. Sorry, you can go ahead. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
End of every single problem. The snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake.
It's like Dr. Seuss. Buckle up.
I'm going to vomit in front of all of you.
His pretty colored skin
Oh,
had
God.
been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night.
Is it not like fucking Dr. Seuss?
This is disgusting. Like, this is just gross. It's like, oh, women are stupid and immigrants are snakes.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, that's why it sells so well for his base, is because
Because of that guy. Look at
it
that
is-
guy right there.
And the whole
Yeah.
milk and honey thing, I was just like,
It is Dr. Seuss.
what else did she give him?
If it rhymes, just like the whole Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, then they're cool with it. If it rhymes, it has to be true.
He's like trying to read it and sound serious, but he's also making it sound like a porno because he's like thinking about his daughter.
Oh.
You're not wrong.
Boom.
I know. I really
And soon
am.
as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been fully revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried.
Now he's thinking about his daughter.
He
This
said
is
bosom.
so-
But if I did
This is what?
I don't know what it is.
It's a shit show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
imagining
talk
my
about
parents
this in a
listening to
minute.
this and going, oh yes, praise Jesus.
But like, look at this dude, bro. He's like living for it, man, and he's taking in every word, and he's fucking filming it on his cell phone so he doesn't forget the words.
This is excruciating. This is worse than anything Biden's ever done.
And I mean, I'll give her credit. At least she's looking like, why the fuck am I listening to this guy?
This lady, oh, with the pigtails.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, okay.
Why
She's
did I
like,
let them
"What?"
pay me to be here?
He's like, I wouldn't let a snake in my home, and I don't even like milk.
didn't bring you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up! silly woman, said the reptile with a grin, you knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. And that's what's happening to the United States of America with immigration. I think it's pretty accurate. Do you agree? I think it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Like how does he just say it like that and get away with it? You know what I mean? Like that's.
But I mean, you
guess
hear the
that's what I
crowd
don't
too,
understand.
right? Like, we miss you, we love you, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Every 10 seconds, they're like, I love you so much. You know who's not saying that? The people that are right behind him that they've staged up there.
This is not even a real issue. The majority of the immigrants in this country have just overstayed their visas. They came here legally.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I don't even think that the majority of immigrants are even from Mexico
Well, and
anymore.
And if
here's
they are,
the really messed
they're
up
fucking
part.
Because they were
indigenous.
supposed to be here anyway, but like,
Right.
it's really not the issue that they think that it is. No, we don't have people jumping over a border line or a border wall. We don't have that problem the way that people think.
He goes
let me
on to
stop
call
you
it a
real quick
fucking
there.
invasion, you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I
he
mean,
does.
even if they were, I'm not against that either. I'm just saying the
But-
way
but-
that he
well-
describes it is not the way that it's happening.
Well, right, and that's
Well-
what I'm saying. Like, he goes on to say that it's a full-scale invasion and that they're jumping the borders and raping our women and
being invaded by indigenous
and
people
murders
whose land
are
this
up,
actually
and murders
is.
are up 1,900% since he left office in border cities. And I mean, it just goes on. That's the point.
Gee, I wonder.
That's the point. It just goes on. It's excuse after excuse after excuse, and then he goes on to say that if you elect me back to the White House in 2024, we'll finish the wall in 3 weeks.
Jesus Christ. Here's the thing, though, right? Is that Title 42 says that they cannot even try to claim amnesty unless they're on American soil.
Yep.
And so they have no choice but to jump the fucking fence. That's the only way that they're able to do it. And that's the catch-22 that we put them in, you know?
No,
So
and I'm not
that's-
saying I even have a problem with it being that way. But I
It's
mean,
wild.
I'm not like super well versed in it, but like I am a sociology major, so we do talk about things like social issues and specifically immigration. And like, I mean, we absolutely don't have a problem with that. I've also been in a relationship in the past with a Mexican man that had immigrants directly from Mexico, like first generation immigrants. And my understanding of meeting his family and working with a lot of Mexicans in kitchens and stuff like that, they work their asses off constantly and they have no concept of credit culturally. They work for every single dollar that they make. They're not like us where we just rack up all this credit or we have this credit system. They actually work for what they're paying for.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and his whole thing about the statistics that he gives out too, like, oh, it was up 1,900% over last year, and it's like, you mean over a year where everybody was told to stay home and nobody could, like, everybody was quarantining? Like, of course, any murder rate's going to look higher compared to 2020. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be kidding me. Or also, so many of them have gone over since, you know, the Biden administration. It's like, well, yeah, once again, you're comparing those numbers to 2020. It's gonna be a lot. Nobody did shit during 2020. So
yeah,
I just can't believe how blatant he is with it, with the whole
the snake and the stupid woman.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. Nationalism at its peak, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to bring up a good point. Back in the 30s, all right, Germany, you know, they had signed the Treaty of Versailles after World War I.
Yeah.
And they were they were paying reparations to all these other countries in Europe, for the war crowd or the war, and a big part of Germany that was given back to Poland. I can't think of what it was, but anyway, they had lost a large sector of their manufacturing. Well, Hitler started coming out and blaming all the stuff on the Jews, the immigrants, the gays. He didn't call them snakes, though. See, Trump's calling immigrants snakes. Right. Hitler and the Nazis were calling the Jews rats that were feeding off the system. That is a very dangerous, and it's a very similar rhetoric that they're spitting. Hitler was calling them the Jews, the rats, the problems. And now Trump's doing something similar, coming out calling Mexican immigrants snakes. And pretty much it's the same rhetoric. It's just a different tune. That's all it is. It's the same rhetoric.
And it's like Rob was saying earlier, that there was another person that was defamed and put in jail and had lost all power politically before rising to power. It's
the like parallels are stunning, and especially when you tie in his rhetoric.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That being said, the next bit that I'm gonna, I think I'm in the right spot for it anyway. That I'm gonna cut to is about. I don't even remember. Go ahead.
Before you do, his last little rant there about immigrants, mostly who he's bitching about are people from Central and South America coming through the Mexican border. Who the fuck is a white colonizer fucking sack of shit to say anything about indigenous people and where they move about on the land that is theirs? Because the United States is nothing but a fucking corporate entity that has exploited this land. This is not the United States. This is Turtle fucking Island, and white colonizer assholes don't get to fucking
Turtle Island.
Indigenous people where on Turtle Island they can move.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck you, colonizer.
Absolutely.
Fuck that guy.
Absolutely.
He's a piece of shit. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Oh yeah,
and he's dangerous. Yeah. He's very fucking dangerous. Agreed.
That they found it, but the fake news didn't even want. A great book on that was done. The fake news didn't even want to talk about it. And all the rest of the Biden's graph that was censored by the...
He's talking about Hunter Biden right now. I started this too early. I apologize.
Okay. No, you're good.
The big tech giants during the campaign. And the reason they did that is because they knew that it represented maybe 15 points and maybe more of downfall. In other words, even with all of their cheating, all of the horrible things they did during the election, even with that, they would lose the election. It represented a 15-point fall. So the media got together, and outside of the New York Post, which I give a lot of credit for, they refused to talk about it. The radical Democrats spent years investigating fake scandals, the Mueller hoax, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, the Unselect Committee on January 6th. How about that committee?
So time out. He's throwing a temper tantrum like a toddler in front of like a fucking God knows how many people.
Yeah, and he just said radical Democrats.
Yeah.
That is a complete contradiction.
Yeah.
And the outrageous civil and criminal harassment in New York and Atlanta of a person known as Donald Trump. Have you ever heard of him?
Have you heard
of him? And Biden has the real scandals, and rest assured, when Republicans retake Congress, the Biden corruption will be investigated and exposed by Congress. But we no longer have a free and fair press. If we did, all of this would end. It wouldn't be there. It's actually just the opposite. As an example, One American News. Do we like it? It's a very popular carrier our voice, your voice, my voice, everybody's voices. And unexpectedly last week...
Time out. If it's everybody's voices, all right, hear me out. Bring one of us on as a guest.
Right. See what
On
happens.
the real, dude.
Bring in one of those radical Democrats and let them talk.
Well, and to be honest, we should be on a show like that, because at least then it's a better dynamic than to have a bunch of shitlibs on there that really aren't far left. You know what I mean?
Right. They're
So-
not
I
even
agree.
left. They're center to center right.
Exactly. Yeah,
And that's the
all it is.
progressives.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they're the mainline Democrats are like just barely left of Trump. Like just barely. They're still very right wing.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And any of them going on there would just be pushing the fucking shit of, let's do some more reformism so you can walk it back in 4 years.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They
On the
announced
real.
that they're going to be shutting down. This is AT&T shutting down One America News. So what's happening is DirecTV, which is owned by Time Warner, is just, I mean, think of it. CNN. How bad, by the way? Tell me. How bad and how fake is CNN? So One American News, which is wonderful, they're going to shut it down. And if they shut down OAN, you should boycott AT&T and DirecTV. You should. If they shut it down, people love it. People love it. And it's got a big audience. It's purely political. And if you look at the chairman of the board and if you look at the other people, you'll understand what's going on.
Time
and
out
while
for
you're
a
at
second.
it, boycott Comcast and Xfinity while you're at it.
Hold on. Let me let him call them Concast first.
Oh, gotcha.
I call it C-O-N, Concast, because it's a con job.
Okay.
He's not wrong about that.
I know, and this is one of those moments that I was talking about, like where he's spot on, but his like reasoning, there's like a disconnect between like him and reality.
Right.
Like, oh well, you know, we should boycott every other media organization, so you're getting every opinion you have straight from my mouth.
Well,
That's what he's really fucking saying.
Right. And he's feeding him a line of horse shit too, because their biggest backer, OAN's biggest contributor, money-wise, was AT&T. AT&T got a lot of crap for it. But he's like, oh no, they're against you. And it's like, no, they're not, dude. They love this kind of shit. They love the rhetoric because it gets views and it gets people pissed off at each other and talking about it. And that puts more money in their pocket, you know. Viewership is key. But you're right, as far as like what he's actually saying and the way that he's treating the media, he's totally correct about that. You know, I had posted earlier saying that the right wing is really good at adding mysticism to everything, you know, deep state and Illuminati and the corrupt media and all this, when the left is really good at pointing them out and saying, okay, here's the corporations that are controlling your government. Here's what's going on. Here's what it is. They actually put a name and a face to everything. But they're really talking and fighting about the same things.
Yeah.
So, but those same things will be hell-bent on having us, you know, punching left and right rather than punching up like we should be.
Right.
That's a sad part about it. It's a sad truth to it.
The thing
Okay,
is, like,
sorry.
everybody, left or right, should be boycotting companies like fucking Comcast and DirecTV because they're
Nestle,
raping our
Pepsi,
wallet.
Coke.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely agree, and I want to take that a step further to, like I just said, Pepsi, Coke, Nestle. These companies are bottling up our water and selling it
Hmm.
back to us in disposable fucking bottles at a massive markup.
But
I
then
mean, like,
they'll blame you as an individual for not doing your part to save the oceans.
Yeah. When
It's disgusting, man.
when it's the United States Navy that's dumping all the shit in the ocean in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw it
You want,
firsthand, man.
yeah, you want to know who's dumping all the oil on the ground? It's the Army. It's the Marine Corps. You want to know where all this
Hmm.
oil's coming from? It's coming from the Navy. It's coming from the Marine Corps. Where's all these fucking destroyed buildings coming from? From the Air Force. I mean, I don't know. That's it's honest to God truth, man. We're killing this
Yeah, you're
planet
right.
one bomb at a time. One
Yep.
bomb at a time.
But we've through consumerism, we've got everybody convinced that if they just recycled one more bottle next week,
Right.
it's all your fault if you don't. You're the one killing the earth. We all got to do our part, and it's like, no, it's these big fucking fascist corporations,
Yeah.
and they are fascist. You look at the recent vote with is food a human right, and everybody voted yes, basically except us. And of
Yeah.
course we're not going to vote yes because that wouldn't be profitable. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
profitable to deem it a human right. And that's exactly why they voted no. It's sad truth. I'm sorry, my bad, Rob. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm done. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the military is really, really good at, going to other places, considering them to be lesser than them, and but taking a ton of resources back and then selling everything back to them for like tenfold.
Yep.
Yep. That. And it makes me think of, what Michael Parenti had to say about it, of like, you don't go to areas that are poor to raid and colonize. You go to areas very wealthy in resources
Yeah,
to raid and colonize. So all these places that, are seen as quote unquote third world countries, while the people there are being forced to live in extreme poverty, these are actually the wealthiest parts of the planet when it comes to fucking resources. The reason why they are living so poorly is because fucking imperialist shit is coming in, stealing their fucking resources, and they're barely getting a pittance for it when they're doing all the fucking work to mine those resources. For
yeah,
example, like this is fucked. This is what capitalism does, not just to the planet but to the people. Of we're
yeah,
gonna take what's yours and tell you that like you deserve to starve because you're just a third world country, right?
right.
Ours. Your
Yeah.
lithium, ours. Your gold, your
And
silver.
this is why I can't use the word. Well, maybe I can use the word. I don't know. This is why the T word is something that I I don't actually frown upon, because it's like, okay, well, let's say that Shell comes into this little village and starts poisoning, the natural aquifers and the wells for all these people, and all these people start getting sick. I don't think that it would be a bad thing if those people decided to rectify that situation.
Right. That doesn't make them the T word for protecting themselves.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly, exactly. So
It's something I've had to
it,
point out actually to some of our friends who had served in the military, went to Afghanistan, and it's like, you were the fucking invader in that equation.
Right. Yeah.
Who the
Yeah, you
fuck
can't
are you to act like they didn't have a right to be shooting at you? You know?
Right. What would they do if somebody came into our neighborhoods and started doing the same thing to them? They'd be pissed. They'd go
That's
out there,
precisely.
absolutely.
That's precisely it too that I have pointed out to these individuals. What the fuck would your response be if another country's fucking troops were storming up your street? Motherfucker, you got like a whole safe full of guns, you'd be busting them out like, get the fuck off my front lawn.
Right. Yeah, for
You
real.
were not,
exactly.
you know, like you were not committing self-defense as you invaded another country at you. You were the fucking keyword there. It's funny how we do not fucking censor fuck, shit, piss, damn, hell, motherfucker, son of a bitch, and cunt. We're censoring that word simply because we've already dealt with being fucking booted off of the fucking internet so many times tonight.
Right.
I
think this is the 4th time.
Right.
Is it?
By the way,
I thought it was take 3, but I don't even know, man.
I think it is take 3.
I think you're right. I think 3rd time's the charm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been going for a while now, so maybe it was just a glitch. Maybe it wasn't really anybody's.
Never know.
Well, I don't know. Nobody's trying to keep accessing it through Facebook at this point. Everybody came over to YouTube that is still, kept it.
Okay. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I straight up, this time I didn't even put Facebook.
I can't blame you, man. Like, if it's going to kick them both off, then why even do it?
Right.
I think so. Fascist book.
But exactly, James, and that's why we're talking about what Trump is saying in this speech. We're not, we're not advocating censoring him. We're just pointing out how fucked up what he's saying is.
Right. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, regardless of what happens, I don't think even OAN should be banned, honestly. But I do believe that we should be out there countering the narrative and letting them know, hey, guess what? Things aren't actually that way. And here's the actual stats, and here's what's actually happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what's next?
Years from what they're predicting, the grocery stores are running out of food. The Congressional Budget Office slashed its long-term growth forecast way back, 30%, and it's going to be much higher than that. More Americans died of COVID on Biden's watch than in all of 2020. At least 16 Democrat-run cities saw record high numbers of murders and drug abuse and every other form of crime. Suburbs are seeing surging carjackings and smash and grab. We never heard of that term before. They just run into department stores and smash the hell out of it and grab it, and they just get out for nothing. There's no...
No, that's a side effect of capitalism. When people are hungry,
Bingo.
When people need bread and they don't have money to buy the bread, they're going to take the bread. And on top of that, bread is one of the things that has been fucking out at supermarkets from what I've been seeing.
Yeah. And that's the thing that they tend to forget is that, hey, guess what? If inflation happens and things become, hyper expensive, we're gonna just take the shit. Period. Like, fuck your system, fuck your commodity. People still have a right to live,
Right.
So, yeah. But all of this rhetoric that he talks about, all of this stuff that he says, he's really, really good at pitting them versus everybody else as the others. Yeah. They make it. Right. He makes it really, really inclusive to just his group and acts like they're better in some way. So pay attention to that because it's wild.
Discrimination. Biden has abolished the southern border, canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, re-entered the unfair and very expensive, unfairly very expensive, horrible Paris Climate Accord ripoff. It's a ripoff of our country. Caused gas prices to skyrocket by more than 100% in a year, and then begged OPEC for mercy, please, please send us more energy. He's emboldened Iran, betrayed Israel, and presided over the catastrophe in Afghanistan. By contrast, and that's just a few, I didn't want to bore you with going on, I could go on for 10 more minutes. By contrast, we had perhaps the most successful 4 years of any president in American history.
You hear that, guys? Any president in American history.
Wow.
Wow.
My eye twitched when I said that.
Oh my god.
I mean, they've all been bastards in one way, shape, or form or another, but fuck. He thinks he's the best of everything. This is just classic narcissist that you are seeing right fucking here. Sociopathic narcissist. This motherfucker does not give a flying fuck about anything but himself. He thinks that he is the epitome of every fucking thing, that he is the best at everything he could possibly try. He thinks the best. He has the best words. Fucking Jesus. The dumb fuckery that is falling
nobody
out
could have done
of
it
his
but
face
him.
every time he speaks about, well, I know this better than anybody, even though I've never had an education on it. And like, classic narcissist.
Well,
he thinks everything is
you look at the Afghanistan thing, and he talks about, oh, we would have never done that, and we would have never pulled out, and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you're literally the one that like started it. You started the countdown to pull out. Like,
that was
what the hell? And then the OPEC thing, you know, he's talking about, oh, we had to go back to OPEC with our tails behind us and everything. And it's like, no, we went to OPEC to tell them to ramp production back up because you back in 2017 told them that we didn't need as much. We're already secure in oil, so we don't need as much. So he started that too. Yeah. But he's really good at like pointing the finger at other people and being like, well, this is the reason why this happened. It's like, wait, what? What kind of narrative is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As long as it suits him, he doesn't give a fuck who gets hurt.
It's the narcissist narrative.
Yeah.
So I can't remember
100%.
And speaking on the gas prices, these countries we're exporting oil from has nothing to do with gas prices. Like, so if a company like Exxon only wants to refine so much oil and then sell it, that's the oil price. How much of the oil are they going to refine? See, we don't have a shortage of oil, but like we're not refining enough oil, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's also because there was so little that was sold during the pandemic. There was barely any movement. Nobody was driving across country, for instance, and so they're trying to regain what they lost. It's all price gouging, and these corporations are really, really good at saying, oh, well, we've got these record profits going on and everything's going great for them, and then at the same time they go, but there's hyperinflation out there that we don't know how to deal with. And it's like, you're the ones who set the prices, dick. Where do you think all of the profits are coming from?
Like, you are
it's
falsely
record profits
labeling,
because nothing's
falsely labeling greed as inflation. It's like,
yeah,
you did it. Like, you're trying to claim that, you can't keep the same price point, let alone fucking, I don't know, pay the people doing all the fucking work a living wage. But yet you just reported these astronomical fucking profit margin growths and are giving your fucking upper management fucking bonuses in the millions.
Yeah.
Like, suck our collective cock, please.
Yeah, for real.
Fuck. Fucking capitalists. God damn it.
Our cock. Let's listen to what Orange Man's got to say.
Boxes.
Comradely cock.
That they were illegal. They were illegal. Tens of thousands of votes. He ruled that they were illegal. We have a woman with us today, Catherine Engelbrecht, who heads True the Vote, which has uncovered massive illegal ballot harvesting and other forms of ballot fraud. A scheme with
That's not true.
2,000, they call them ballot mules. These are people. They call them mules, people. And they walk in early in the morning with thousands and thousands of ballots, and they stuff the ballot boxes in Georgia and other states. And I just want to thank, where
That's
is
not true.
Catherine? Is she around? What
No.
a job she's done. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine.
In fact, every audit that's been done in every state that he's tried to do an audit in has shown that he's, like Arizona, for example, he actually lost by a larger margin than was originally counted.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only
Yeah.
fucking quote unquote votes from dead people that they found were votes for Trump. Shit like
Literally,
that.
yes.
You know, like all of these false accusations
Well-
he's still clinging to, and it's been proven fucking wrong time and time again in how many fucking states?
Yeah.
But they believe him.
Well, and PA's recent little meltdown that they had, he takes that as a win, and it's like, no, nobody said that you got more votes. They just said that we're not doing this again. You know?
Right.
And they have it on tape. Now, all they have to do is release the tape. They don't want to release the tape. They don't want to release
There
the
is
tape,
no
but it's
tape.
on tape. And it's on tape in more than just one state. And they're looking at it now very strongly. They don't want it to get out. They don't like it because it would show that the election was a fraud. They don't like it. Let's see what happens.
If that was true, they would just release the tape.
No
I've
shit.
had people do this to me before, like in arguments, like when I've left jobs that were like really dramatic and shitty. They'd refer to other screenshots. And I'm just like, okay, well,
Right.
post them, but they don't exist. And then people will still just like rally behind. I don't understand the mentality of it or how they even. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me how they justify all of this as true.
The number one thing I have always told people when they go to a corporate job of any kind, even a call center, is document. Because if you don't, they always have, you know.
Right.
Cover your ass. Always.
And if you have to have something, I learned this one from experience the hard way too. If they make you use a corporate email account that they fucking own, make sure that anything you need to document is forwarded to one that you own. Because otherwise, you lose your fucking paper trail as soon as they go and delete your fucking corporate email account.
Yeah. As soon as you can't log into their system, all of that documentation is gone. You're right.
Yep.
I think Natalie is right, and I think that is because mail-in voting is actually more secure than in-person voting.
I would believe it. I really would. And the reason I would believe it is because people really don't want to go to jail for something like that.
No, and I've
That's
heard
just the
that
truth of
argument too, specifically that you're just like, oh yeah, I'm a felon now over submitting 2 votes for a president. Like, who gives a fucking shit?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like you're gonna spend a stint of 10 years just so that there could be one additional vote in there. No, nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
Unless you actually told people, well, we don't know what's going to happen with it, so you better vote twice. Which is exactly what he did. Don't forget about that.
Well,
Yeah,
one
No,
thing
it's
I
almost
would
like
like
it's
to
almost
point out,
like
too,
it's almost like he
just-
knew he was going to lose, and so he wanted to try to get people to vote twice.
well,
Yeah.
there's also instances that happened in the last election where there was ballot boxes being stolen from, in front of the places they were at, for like after hours collection, and they were being stolen by Republicans. Okay. So the only tampering that's been proven has been done by Trump supporters. But my second thing I want to point out there is if you are doing your vote by mail, don't drop it in a drop box. Put it in the actual fucking mail to send it back so that it actually gets delivered to the inside of the building, because they're pulling shit like that of stealing these fucking ballot boxes that are outside of voting centers.
Well, I remember when they were considering, and this was early on in the summer before the Supreme Court put a stop to it, but they were considering the actual mailboxes as hoarding, that they were hoarding votes, and they were taking whole mailboxes off the street and being like, nope, we can't accept that. There's all kinds of votes in there.
Hoarding.
They're hoarding votes. And it's like, what? Like, dude, it's a mailbox. Of course there's going to be a lot of votes in there.
Right.
That was
Do you
wild.
Do you think that if he had won, maybe there would have been less damage done because it's out of the way and he can't come back?
That doesn't mean he wouldn't try. Losing
Yeah,
an election
that's
didn't
what I'm
stop him.
wondering
Why would a
too.
term
I'm
limit
just
stop
wondering
him?
if like the religious weird vibe fervor shit would like still be a thing, or if they would be like, well, you served for 2 terms, now it's time for you to leave.
Much like his first term to office empowered them to begin with, like we all knew that
Well-
after he became president that they were not going to slither back under their rocks.
Well,
And I think
now
that,
he can blame all of his aftermath on Joe Biden, who is also an idiot. But like, what we're going through now is not because of Joe Biden, for the most part.
but he,
For the
but
most
he-
part,
he-
you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, he would find something else to blame it on. He'd blame it on the media. He'd blame it on immigrants. He'd blame it on the woke mob, and he does all that anyway. I think the only thing that would change if he did win is that his people would be even more emboldened to think that they're in the right for doing really heinous shit to all of the people they consider others.
Since word got
Honestly,
out, they have been flooded with.
I was just gonna say, honestly, even if the fucker had gotten the second term and stuff, and it wouldn't have mattered. These people who are that far gone drinking the fucking Kool-Aid are probably gonna be screaming for wanting Trump back till the day they die.
Yeah, I mean that's how my parents seem. But
Like they see him as the answer to everything, and they want their dictator.
Right.
He's definitely a
With
dick.
tips, and if you have information about
What?
the way
So
she
he's
said
definitely a
dictator,
dick.
I
I
just
don't know about
thought of a
potato.
dick and a potato, and I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't normally think, but the way she said it, for some reason, I just thought of 2 different things made into one.
Well, it really makes me
Yeah, I
think
said
of
he's definitely
one,
a dick.
because I've seen the
He
fucking
might be
meme
a
of it,
tater.
and it's a dick-shaped potato.
There you go.
Would a dictator
That's
be like,
perfect, actually.
like a kidney stone passing through your penis?
Oh,
I mean, that's what this video feels like to me if I had a penis.
You
Let's
might be
get to
right.
the rest of this shit. Oh my god.
I talk
There's
about
so
having
much
a
to
penis
unpack.
a lot. Never mind. We can play now.
about ballot harvesting in your state, call Catherine Engelbrecht or go to True the Vote. It's called truethevote.org. And I'm sure a lot of people in this audience saw plenty. The radical Democrats are corrupt beyond belief. They are viciously and unconstitutionally using the federal, local, and state governments to prosecute and silence politicians like me, although I never considered myself to be a politician. But that's what they're doing. As an example, for years they've been going after my company, many years, using every trick in the book in an attempt to literally, if they can, put me in jail. They want to put me in jail.
Yeah.
This has been
Time
going
out. How
on.
is that any different than his fucking crowd chanting "lock her up"?
Right.
Every time he
Right.
pauses, it looks like he's farting.
Which they literally do later on this same stream.
Yeah, they do. I don't know if that's going to be in a part I've skipped over. I mean, obviously, I'm not playing this whole goddamn thing. We'd be here all night.
Right.
Yeah, and we still haven't talked about Spotify.
Oh, fuck.
Right. Right.
Going on since I came down the escalator with our great future First Lady, who everybody loved. In Trump Tower 6 years ago, the Supreme Court and others are absolutely missing in action for this stuff. It's going on all over the country. As an example, local prosecutors in New York and other locations who horribly campaigned for office on, we're going to get Trump. This is how they campaign. We're going to get Trump. They know nothing about me. We're going to get him. Then got elected and are working overtime to fulfill their campaign promises. They've subpoenaed more than 9 million pages, big company, of documents, and virtually every deal I've ever done, hoping to find a mistake, an error, misspelled words, a comma out of place, or anything else that they can find that might be just a little bit wrong. We relied on major law firms, accounting firms, and other professionals to do this work. And to the best of my knowledge, they did it very, very well. As an example.
So, like, he said that he never considered himself a politician, but he sure as fuck talks like one.
Right.
Yep.
Always has.
All capitalists are politicians. He's full of shit.
Well, yeah. Anyway, let's see what's next here.
Reports abolishing voter ID in state, forcing
Hold on. I gotta get the beginning of this rant.
What is
the country
driver's
said,
license
if you got
for?
64 million.
What?
What is a driver's license for? What is this talking about voter ID? Like, why do we even have to register to vote? If we have an ID, why do we have to register to vote?
I mean, that's fair. Why do we gotta get another form of ID to vote?
Right.
Yep.
Anyway.
Million votes or 60 million votes, it's not possible that you lose. We got 75 million votes and they stole it, they rigged it.
There's
But if
300
you get
million people in this
75
country.
But if you get 75 million votes and somebody else gets 76 million votes, then you still
Right.
lose.
And that's still
If I
only
won
half
Ohio,
the population.
that was it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, our whole population don't vote. Our participation rate's in the 40-something percent.
Listen,
No, but
Just
my
look
point
at-
is
just
that
look
numbers
at the
fucking
number.
matter. And when you have
And then
350
ignore the
million
number.
people in a country, then 65 million can be outvoted. It's simple
Yeah.
math. You know, like,
Yeah.
it would be nice if
turns out
everybody
if you make
voted. I know that they
voting
don't, but I'm
easier,
saying
everybody
that, like,
votes.
you can be beat at that with only half the population participating in the fucking vote. Like, math befuddles
Which is
him.
exactly what happened.
If you make voting easier, more people vote. Shocker! It's like, dude.
Right. It's
well,
fucking
and the whole
crazy.
rules thing, like I understand that, but at the same time, Rob moved it back a little bit further. But whenever he said having voter IDs. Why do you need a voter ID? Like, I go in and my name is on a list. They check the box when I get there and show them my ID. So they already know whether I'm registered or not. But I mean, at the same time, why do I have to register? I should just be able to walk in and vote.
Right.
Like, I am registered, so I'm not complaining necessarily. It just doesn't make
Because
sense.
just like
Why he's talking about
like
voter
having,
IDs, why do we need a whole other ID? That's what the whole paper list is for when you walk in there.
Well, probably
because
they like to try to stop felons from voting, and a felon can get a fucking state ID or a
Yeah,
driver's license, but they'll
they're
be
not
denied
on those
voter
lists anymore.
registration.
If you're not on the list in your voting district and they don't find your name, then you can't vote.
Right.
They do it. They want to do the voter ID bit because it disenfranchises the poorest among us that can't readily just
I mean, I
walk
know
to the
why it
DMV
does
and
it.
buy
It's
one.
just, it's like, even if you only had your voter or like your personal ID, even if you just didn't have that, like there's still going to be poor people that won't be able to vote because they don't have an actual ID. But I don't know. It just,
it's like
there's so
back
many
in the
different levels of
1960s.
jumping through these hoops, like, constantly. And he acts like the richest people aren't Republicans. I mean, statistically speaking, the richest people are Republicans and they vote Republican.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is tax breaks for themselves, fucking limiting rights for others, fucking all kinds of like.
Oh yeah, and the poors will pick up the slack on the taxes. Don't worry about it. But we're also going to boost spending, but Democrats can't balance a budget.
You should not have to bow down and pay the state in order to have a right to vote, any more than you should have to bow down and pay the state for a right to defend yourself.
Right.
And yet that's why they did the whole firearms license thing too. It's to disenfranchise the very poorest of us.
Or those of us that have a medical card.
Yeah, that too. That's so ridiculous. My God. Don't get me started on that. It makes me
and it's a
so
disgrace
livid.
to our nation. We're like a third world country. And our country is paying the biggest price in its history because we're going to hell, and we're going to hell very fast, and we soon will not have a country left with all that's happening to this incredible land of ours by these radical left crazy people. And just remember this.
Time out.
I like how we all giggle when that came up. We're like, bro.
So like these radical left crazy people, right?
I don't.
When's
see
the last
landlords
time one of you
being
bombed
sent to
Syria?
the wall.
Right.
You need to get his flag, Rob.
Oh my God.
Should we show him radical left?
Maybe we should, so we can figure out what the fuck it is.
Yeah, for real.
God.
In 1 year, what they've done to our country, it's not even believable. If you would have said all of these things were happening with the economy, with inflation, with our military, with our woke generals that they don't have a clue, with all of the, and by the way, we have great generals. I just want to leave you with some positive. When I took on,
you're a
slumlord,
bro. You don't want to see the radical
because I took on ISIS, we took on al-Baghdadi, all the other. Our military is incredible, but not the generals that you see on television. Those guys are not incredible, and they don't represent our country, and they don't represent who we are. As we speak, the radical Democrats are aggressively pushing to permanently expand their mass mail-in ballot fraud nationwide. And you wonder, why do they want to do that when they cheated so successfully in the election, right? They don't have a voting rights bill. They have a voting fraud bill. That's a voting fraud. That's a bill that says, if you pass this, there will never be a Republican elected again in this country. That's what that bill says.
Because it makes it easier to vote, and because disenfranchised populations typically do not vote Republican.
Every Senate Democrat supports abolishing voter ID in every state, forcing ballot harvesting on every state, forcing secure drop boxes on every state, and letting left-wing billionaires pump dark money into
Wait, what? Left-wing billionaires, you guys.
Pump dark money.
Yeah, where do I get that dark money?
Yeah, that's what
Don't
I'm
go for
saying.
my dark money.
Where are these left-wing billionaires, and how do I get some of that dark money?
Right.
You gotta
By the
take
way-
the Soros money.
Like, we have a Venmo at for We Are Many. We have what else? Patreon, also for We Are Many. So if you're a left-wing billionaire with some dark money to spread, there you go. Here's the spot to
I think
donate
I wanna
some of
try
it.
some
We'll
of that
take
dark
that dark
money.
money. We've been getting accused for over a fucking decade of, getting fucking money from billionaires.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
still
I'm
waiting
out
on
of
the
Soros
fucking
bucks
Soros.
completely.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I'm still
dude,
waiting
I'm
on my
still
Soros
waiting on
check.
this. Yeah, exactly. I still haven't gotten my Soros checks from Occupy, man.
Right.
For real.
Where the fuck is
I'm
our
getting-
pay? Our camp was up for almost a year. Where's our pay? God damn it. Fuck.
Fuck.
I need my Soros
Election
check and my
office.
bus back.
What?
I need my Soros check and my bus back. Yeah, that's all the voters said.
Fuck.
Like, what the fucking fuck? God damn it.
This is
Where's
so
our angles? We need our angles.
Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
417 million. You know, if you're involved in politics and if you give 10 cents more than $5,600, they put you in jail. This guy gave $417 million and they're doling it out all over the country. It's a disgrace. The only possible reason for Democrats to support such a bill is that they want to enable cheating and fraud on a massive scale like you've never seen before. But I think we have seen it before because I don't believe they could do it any better or any more than they did it in the election of 2020. When Republicans
Why did that bother me so much? 2020.
take over, we need to pass voter ID, signature verification, residency confirmation, no more unsecured drop boxes. You ever see these drop boxes? Did you ever look at the votes that came in, the percentages? They were nice when they gave me 1%. And no more ballot harvesting. No more ballot harvesting. And that's what the law calls for. We should pass legislation cracking down hard on any city or state that attempts to allow illegal aliens to vote. Only American citizens should vote in American.
Sorry, I was
What?
muted. That's not a fucking thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
Once again, making everybody others.
Yep.
That's what it's about.
Elections.
That's what he's about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I really do believe Laura Trump when she was talking about Mein Kampf under his fucking pillow. Like, I don't think that was a joke. I really don't.
No.
I also don't think it was. I also
I was
think
thinking
it was
about
probably
that
the only
whenever
book
he
he ever
said
read.
like over 300 million Americans were going to get arrested or something like that, and you're like, oh, that's like all of America.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're going to arrest everyone, and we're going
we're all going to jail, and it's going to be a party.
Right.
We're
So
gonna,
I was just like, wait. So basically, what you're saying is that nobody even voted for Trump.
Yeah, honestly, holy fuck, I didn't even think about that. You're totally right. There's only,
the-
330 million of us? So, yeah.
I'm confused
Yeah.
about the signature verification. Like, so does that mean, like, whenever you sign a penis on your, when you check out on your credit card, you get to do that now when you vote?
I'm gonna have to start doing that.
I usually just put a line.
That's fucking great. That's pretty great, actually. I love it. It's not it's not like any of these fucking things, including your own bank, actually check the receipt anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
unless it's something you're depositing, they don't give a shit.
Yeah. True.
Money going out? Cool, go for it. Sorry, go ahead.
And if it were solely up to me, I'd have one-day elections using only paper ballots except for military and seriously ill or disabled people. One day, we have these elections, they go on for weeks and weeks. The boxes are sitting in corners. They're moving all over the place. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Few people do. How about the woman, she grabbed the votes under the table? Remember the leak? We have a water main break. Everybody leave. They come back in, lift up the skirt of the table and start. This is what we have. It's a disgrace. We're like a third world country. We're just 9 months away from what could be the most important midterm victory in all of American history. Great people, including the people that we just mentioned. Our country is at stake, and we need a landslide so enormous that the radical Democrats cannot steal it no matter what they do. That's what we need. If we make it big enough.
Where do I find these radical Democrats?
I don't know.
And how big does that steal have to be when he already thinks 300 million of us illegally voted?
Right.
Well, good God, man.
Like when there wasn't even that many votes. Fuck. God.
Nobody voted for him. I mean,
It gets very...
everybody's going to jail.
There's 300 million radicals, and they're all going
There's
to jail.
300 million radicals in this country.
I wish.
I wish too.
I know, right?
It would no longer be a capitalist fucking place if that was the case.
There would no longer be a slumlord named Trump.
Why?
You mean
fucking
that guy?
rocking when he
Donald
calls
J.
Democrats
Trump. Maybe
radical.
you've heard of him.
If you buy my steak, it's a vote for me.
It's a well done. Slap some ketchup on it. Look at the numbers.
The best
They're
number.
That alone should put him in jail, honestly. Oh, the steak thing, man, that's just wrong. I think it's wrong to put A1 on steak, let alone fucking
Same,
ketchup.
especially when so I'm a server bartender, and so it's weird to me whenever people, they're like, can I get medium rare? And then I'll like give them the medium rare. And I'm like, cool, you're cool. Yeah. Every once in a while, they'll be like, can I get some A1? And I'm like, but you ordered it right. What's wrong with you? I'm confused. I get
you shouldn't
really
need
confused.
A1 if it's done correctly. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm done with Trump.
Fuck
let's
that
talk
guy.
about let's talk about Spotify. I'm sick of Trump.
Real quick though.
Dude, yeah, you've tortured us enough.
I did look into your claim about the speaker, and it's true. And it was
I told you.
Yeah. I was like, holy crap, dude. It was Lynn Wood. Lynn Wood is the one who said it, which is crazy because he was part of the cabinet. He was so close to the government that he was literally inside the White House for like most of Trump's term, and yet he still believes this shit. It's like, are you kidding me? Yeah, Lynn Wood.
By the way, the accusation from a speaker at Trump's rally in Arizona was that Joe Biden was executed by a military tribunal at Guantanamo Bay in 2019, and the current president is a clone or a robot or some shit.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for
Jesus fuck.
Well,
that definitely
he's
needed
a
some
clone and a
clarification,
robot,
sure.
but he has always been.
True. Not wrong. And his whole thing about his dead son and It would be a disgrace to
Why
his
am I
dead son
always
to
hearing
give everybody
about
health
his
care.
dead son? I don't care.
For real. It's wild. It's like, meanwhile,
Yeah.
other people will die because they don't have health
My
care.
dead son.
I don't understand the dead son shit. I don't even know how anybody's even listening to that. I don't know how even liberals can listen to that and just be like, yeah, this sounds like the president I asked for.
It's like, we're going to send guys to Ukraine, but also my son died.
Also,
Yeah.
hey, did you hear that my son is dead?
It's like, I think what he's trying to say is like he's trying to make the argument that only veterans should
So
have
many
free
people in his
healthcare.
life have died. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like he's just trying to play the same argument like only veterans and active duty deserve free healthcare. I think everybody does.
Yeah, well,
Like,
they still
I
don't
just
get
don't
that
know.
either. So I don't know why he's talking about that.
Trying to get this camera
I
to
won't
work with me, but it's just not
Like, I
happening.
mean, there are so many
Okay, here
veterans
we
that
go.
do not get free healthcare and that don't get the benefits that they were told that they would get and that are homeless.
Yep.
The VA is pretty brutal. I mean, like, just
Yeah.
setting up an appointment.
So even if we're talking about that, he's still full of shit.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it's like what we always said about the whole thing of, you know, if healthcare and free college and free housing is so un-American, why is it the leading thing for the military to you know, lean on when they're looking for recruits?
Right.
That's their number one operandi when it comes to, you know, getting new troops to sign up. It's so
Now,
un-American
it's
that our
for their
military has to promote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And
It's wild.
I mean,
So
it's really just like women and veterans, the right only care about them as talking points so that they can.
Yeah, did everybody's
Yeah.
college debt disappear? Was that supposed to happen?
He's
that?
literally not done anything. He's talking about student loans.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Student loans are like,
He paid off all his student loans, and I don't think he would be mad if mine were taken care of and I didn't have to pay for them.
there you go.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody
Right.
that I've seen that's against the
You're
whole
like, my
student loan
son
thing,
died,
it's like,
so
it's like,
everybody else's should die too, and that'll teach him.
Maybe.
Right.
yeah,
Maybe Biden's like,
yeah. That's literally the argument that they're making. Like, that's quite literally it.
Right. Well, the
I mean,
thing
a
is,
little
like,
more
anybody
blunt, but
who's had to deal with that shit of like struggling to pay their fucking student loans while also keeping a roof over their head and food in their stomach should be like, yeah, that fucking sucked. We should stop doing that to people, and
Yeah, and I'm
eradicate
sure
these
that
student
his
loans.
son had better health care than I will ever fucking have. So if he died, then there was nothing that could be done.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
did he die in a?
I can't remember how he died.
I thought it was just a car crash or something. Or am I mixing up his other dead relatives?
No, that was his wife and I think one of his children when the child was an infant.
Okay.
Yes.
Now
Maybe
I gotta
he's
look
like
back
Highlander
up.
and
I'm gonna
he
ask
was
Google.
Still tragic.
Horse.
What?
I'm gonna ask Google. I just gotta plug my phone in because I just saw I was about to die. And,
Oh, John T just made a good point. I forgot to mention. I'm gonna read it real quick. Veterans do not get free health care. You have to be service
No, they do
connected,
not.
and then it is a percentage, and you need outside or sheriff cost. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't
Which
believe
is
that. I
completely
didn't know what
fucked.
the situation was, but I just knew that there were too many veterans that I know that don't really get the help that people say that they do. So
The
And
only time that you
oftentimes-
get any of the things that they tell you to do is when you're literally in the military serving. Once you're done, they don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
that and even when it comes down to food, your only guarantee really is if you're on base. If you're living off base in private housing, you're more than likely making so little still that you will qualify for food stamps. And they tell you you're going to need to go apply for food stamps. Just don't wear your fucking uniform when you do it.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild.
Mhm.
Well, and then
Yep.
even on
Number one.
Medicare, you have to
Number
pay into it as
one.
well after you're retired.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you've got to. You've pretty much got to be disabled when you get out to get free healthcare. You still got to pay for it. So if you want to go to the VA and you're not fucked up, you got to pay to get VA health coverage. And it's shit.
Yeah, it's still
Like,
gonna cost
it's
you
horrible.
something. It's just gonna be a little
Yeah.
less. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
And just to give you
Yeah,
some
it's not even
perspective on
free.
costs, there was a surgeon at Muskogee who was he worked at the VA hospital, and he was fucking up left and right. And there was a guy, he wouldn't retire until that guy was fired, quit, whatever.
Wow.
And he asked his son, who I worked with, he's like, guess what his salary was? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to say like, 160. It was 360. So this is in Oklahoma. Yeah.
Holy hell.
It's insane.
That's wild.
If you guys were
the funny
referring
thing
to Biden's son Beau a minute ago, he died of brain cancer.
I knew that it was
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but I knew it wasn't just like some accident or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really sad and tragic story what's happened to his family, but you would think that all of that tragedy would make him more
empathetic.
That, and then
exactly.
also at the same time, like, I'm not making fun of him because his son's dead. I'm just making fun of it because it's just like, you are the leader of the country and you are constantly making this personal. And that really, even if you were going to make it personal, this is not the way to do that. You're being a piece of shit by making it personal. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not
No, absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, my whole thing is just that his son always comes up in some stupid thing that makes his son seem like a fucking asshole, or just at least the bane of my existence and all of our existence, because apparently every bar that is set has to do with his fucking son that's dead. That probably has better healthcare than any of us will ever fucking have.
Yeah, he gets used a lot, honestly. You're right about that. Sorry, I'm trying to plug in because my shit's gonna die.
Well, as far as
Okay,
the
there we
link
go.
to the military here, what I'm seeing is that Biden had said something publicly last year about how Beau was in the military and he was in waste burning pits. And so he thinks that there might be a connection between those waste burning pits and the cancer.
Maybe he should never declare war again because his son is dead.
You talking about like outside the base, like where you burn all your trash and stuff, or
and shit, and
that's what it sounds like here. Give me a second to read a little further, and I'll let you know.
I mean, there were all kinds of people that got cancer from that.
I wouldn't be
It's like,
surprised.
gee, maybe those waste pits wouldn't be a thing if.
And it's also completely irrelevant to having healthcare for all.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of shit that'll give you cancer in the Army. Like, it's the radios, it's the tritium sites they're using in the mortar systems. I mean,
guns,
it's everything. Like, everything.
The guns have lead,
gives you fucking cancer.
bullets at least.
Well,
yeah, everything.
Legit.
So I think all we got left is Spotify and well, minus interruptions, we're going on close to 3 hours, so we should probably
yeah. Let's do it. Come on.
Well, how about let's open this with my perspective on that, which is we've got a fucking bigoted homophobe piece of shit exiting Spotify in order to protest a neo-Nazi supporting and platforming piece of shit. Fuck them both.
Yeah.
Is Young? I didn't know that Young was a homophobe.
Yes.
I did not know.
back in the 80s, there was a lot of fucking shit that he had to say about gay men and the AIDS epidemic that was
Yeah.
fucking just absolutely horrendous fucking homophobic shit. He's a piece of shit.
He was also a huge corporatist when it came to rooting everybody on during the Iraq War. So yeah,
I did not know that about him.
Neil Young's not that great of a person.
No, he's not.
I knew that he had been talking about artist pay, which is a bigger deal for smaller artists.
Yeah.
And for Joe Rogan to be making this much money,
it's kind of a slap in the face to all of them.
Yeah, I mean that's
300
bullshit.
streams to make a penny? Are you fucking kidding me?
I did cancel my Spotify subscription, but it's not that big of a deal. But I just
it is for me. I say $5 a month.
But no, I mean Joe Rogan, obviously more influence. A lot more people had to look up.
If you like that, wait till you hear about your car insurance.
But Joe Rogan is a transphobe. He talks to Nazis. He's anti-vax. Sorry, not sorry to anybody in here who's talking about any of that, because I'm not down. And I mean, the majority of the people that aren't getting vaccinated are from Black and Hispanic communities. And so you're not hurting white people here whenever you spread misinformation. So, I mean,
you're hurting the poorest among us.
Levels that I mean, on this at least, I'm not against people banning Spotify.
Right.
Well,
if you want to buy music, buy it directly from the musicians. Buy their fucking CDs, or if they have it, their vinyl. Even if you're buying it from a fucking store, at least the record company is paying them what they fucking agreed on for that shit. But wasting your time with shit like Spotify only fucks artists.
Yeah.
Mine was discounted anyway whenever I had it, so I'm sad about.
I mean, I don't use Spotify. I do use a competitor of Spotify, but I also try to support local music. Like this T-shirt that I'm wearing. Like this T-shirt that I'm wearing, or like the vinyl that I bought off of Sterling.
Right.
There you go. Yeah. Straight up.
And, well, it's currently out of reach, or I would show you one of Sterling's band's shirts that I grabbed at that same show. Why? Because
okay.
If you're going to support artists, do it directly.
Fuck yeah.
Base.
This has been a PSA.
Yeah.
I'm gonna type it in the comments too, with a hashtag even.
PSA, everyone, if you want to support local artists, do it locally.
Go to their shows.
Unless you've been in town for so long that you hate it and you want to leave. If I could go to your show, Rob, it would.
Hell yeah.
That would be dope.
Dude, right?
That it would.
Kyle, we're moving to Arizona.
Don't do it.
I hear the cops are great out there.
The what?
Are they any better than Tulsa?
Oh, hell no.
Can't be any worse than APD.
Well, if we're talking about cops, then at least Sheriff Joe is no longer the sheriff.
Well, here you only have to worry about getting shot at by them if you're poor or homeless. Outside of that, you're pretty much okay. But yeah, agreed.
All cops are bastards.
For sure.
Yep.
And before people take offense to that statement, we're not saying that your uncle is a bastard. We're saying that your uncle is a bastard because he's a fucking cop. He can
Right.
drop the badge at any time. He can go get a better job, one that isn't going to get him hurt, one, and one that ultimately is not going to hurt others, at least not nearly as bad and not as directly.
Right.
I mean, if he wants to
fuck
drive
your Uncle
around in a car all day and serve his community, then he should like sign up for DoorDash.
There you go. That's
So,
actually helping people.
I think my uncle was.
John's just like, I'm out.
I think he did it just for the car.
I'm trying to sit still, but I've got to eat so I don't pass out too. So it's kind
Are
of.
you?
You're golden, brother.
Do you just have to eat
I'm
like
literally
every
eating
3
right now.
hours, or you're gonna pass out?
Yeah, pretty much.
Me.
It's weird, man. It's weird. I don't know.
The
I'll
only
go
thing
to
that
the
keeps
doctor,
me
but I
going is
can't
coffee
afford it.
and cigarettes.
To address
Probably.
John T's comment, okay, you may have had some decent personal interactions with cops, but the reasons why I say all cops are bastards, and I do fucking mean all of them, no matter how nice they are, is you have to, for one, look at the root of the institution, which is in catching slaves to return to their slave owners, and that racism is still inherent to the policing fucking industry. Let's call it what it is, because
Yep,
they're
that's
there to
it.
serve profit margins. So we have a very, very bad problem going on here with this racism being so inherent in what they do that it shows itself in how they interact with the communities that they are supposed to be quote unquote serving and protecting, but they don't, which is why we see greater rates of indigenous and black people being fucking murdered by police, why we see even police of color standing by and watching white cops do that shit or participating in it because they got to be part of that good old boys club and hold that thin blue fucking line and protect each other. I mean, look at what happened in the case of George when that white cop was kneeling on his fucking neck. The Asian cop was pushing people back like, nope, you can't interfere.
That we're trying to help him.
So it is
he threatened to shoot him.
Fucking problem. Yes, colonizer racism. It is an inherent fucking problem that is ingrained in this fucking institution. They are.
But I thought it was just a few bad apples.
They are community traitors. No, you don't have just a few bad apples. You have an entire fucking rotting orchard. And I don't care if you manage to find 1 or 2 apples in there that are edible. The whole fucking orchard is rotting and needs burned. And I'm not saying any fucking shit of like, oh, go set cops on fire. No, I'm saying the institution itself needs to be annihilated. We need to end those fucking jobs.
Smash the state. We need to smash the state.
The good ones though
Yeah.
watch out pretty quickly because you have a police union that's
I mean,
that's just
if they're good, they either are removed very quickly, have very little influence, and they're still friends with pieces of shit.
Yeah, they watch out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all cops know that there are some laws that are unjust, and yet they still make a sworn duty to uphold all laws. Therefore, that makes them unjust. So even if the cop isn't racist, he's still a fucking cop.
And you know what? The only way for a person who has taken that fucking position to even try to come back from that is the instant you realize what you're participating in, you should fucking throw that badge down on your supervisor's desk and walk the fuck out and never put that fucking uniform on again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they don't really pull people over for expired tags as much around here. And I can tell you why.
What happened?
Well, so they didn't follow their department policy, which they tried to tow a guy's car. They also tried to blame this on BLM too.
I wish I could find that fucking letter that they wrote because I think that they like somehow wiped it from the internet.
No, they didn't.
I couldn't find it.
But they anyway, what happened was these guys came in, and once they released the footage, I mean, they beat the shit out of this guy for like 8 minutes because he wouldn't leave his car because they were going to tow it over an expired tag, and you know, they were lax about it. They, as far as like you know, drawing a firearm and stuff like that, they were kind of getting into it, and they triggered. I mean, they overuse this, but yeah, they triggered a fight or flight response from the guy. Reached under, and you know, he was like screaming at that point because they were they drop kicked him while he was in his car trying to drag him out and stuff. So he grabbed a 45 out from under his seat, shot them both in the head, killed one, and then one of them is actually I don't want to cross, like I don't want to come across this cop at all because he's
back on the.
He's literally fucked in the head.
He's the other cop. He was in critical condition for a while, and then he had a recovery. Apparently now he has issues with reading social cues, but they allowed him to work Oktoberfest, and he was begging.
What?
He was begging for free beer while he was on duty. And he was visibly drunk, but like he's already back on with mental issues. He does not know how to read social cues anymore because of whatever brain damage that it gave him, and he's already back.
Why would you allow somebody?
It's been a year and a half. But this guy that pulled the 45 out from under his seat after they pulled him over for having an expired tag during COVID. He already had like a really bad record. He's a really bad dude. Like he just looks like a white trash piece of shit drug dealer. And and that's not an excuse for what they did, but he's definitely like, I mean, they were missing for like 2 days. I don't even know how they were missing for 2 days, but it's still.
I don't know how they would let somebody
the entire thing. They like wrote this thing about Black Lives Matter, escalating tensions against the police and things like that. But then whenever, like at this point, like we didn't know what the video or the recording had on it. And then we find out that they actually beat the shit out of him for a while and that it had absolutely, and he's a white guy. He doesn't have.
They suppressed it for a number of months too. They wouldn't.
It's all really fucked up. The entire thing is completely fucked up. Yeah.
Man. Well, I was going to say, I don't understand why they would let somebody who can't read social cues interact with the public in a life or death situation. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I just can't believe after he suffered fucking brain damage that they put him back.
Yeah, give him his pension and send him on his way.
John Tickler, the reason that they said that BLM was the problem was this is when the George Floyd protests were going down, and it was the 99th anniversary leading up to the Tulsa massacre 100 year. So this was all going on at one time in Tulsa, and it was like the biggest protest in Tulsa that I've ever seen. Both on Brookside and then also in downtown. So that was why they had started to blame it on that, because it was about a week after these really big protests.
Both the police chief and the mayor also played victim.
Yeah, there's a really disgusting article on that too. He was just like, I was in my lawn gardening and all of these people just run up on my house. And I'm just like, oh my god!
And
trying to play victim and shit.
It's awful.
Who voted for ICE?
Mayor GT Barnum is a piece of fucking shit. He's this Poindexter little piece of fucking shit. Can't stand him.
Yeah, he was a former lobbyist.
Damn this camera anyway.
Actually, he's cutting a lot of deals to Ross Group.
And he's directly related to people that participated in the race massacre.
Wow.
What a fun bunch.
Yeah. There's a podcast. I need to find out where it's not on Spotify. But it's called. I think it's.
KOSU. They should have it on their site.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, once again, fuck our
Focus
cops.
Black Oklahoma. If you do listen to Spotify, it's on there. But like, there's 3 different episodes on Greenwood. Yeah.
Like Greenwood specifically?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where Black Wall Street was that this massacre
Yeah.
occurred. She's referring to.
Yeah.
It's
The guy that pushed for the name change is dead. He killed himself apparently after warning everybody that if he kills himself, he didn't do it.
yeah.
Bro.
Leading up to it. Yeah, so it used to be called like Brady District and stuff. The guy that who actively participated in the 1921 race massacre.
Trisha, did you see whenever I messaged y'all like a few weeks ago or something? I found out that that Brady's mansion was actually a replica of Robert E. Lee's mansion.
They did
Yeah,
that's
I didn't know that until like I saw that and I had no idea. I was like, that is
Wow.
And Oklahoma was never involved in the Civil War. So
Yeah.
it's just like all these Confederate sympathizers. They had, what was it?
That's scary. That's kind of weird.
They're all
well,
KKK.
and what's scarier is that all of these locally owned businesses downtown and all of the money that goes into Black Wall Street and the Greenwood Cultural Center is all owned by the Kaisers. It's the Kaiser Family Foundation.
It's more convoluted than that.
They're pretty much buying out most of downtown Tulsa.
Yeah, they
own everything.
Yeah, any black businesses there are leasing from them. There are no there is no black owned Greenwood at all.
So they're responsible not only for all of the other stuff, but also gentrification.
They're profiting
completely.
off of bringing up the Centennial and bringing people into Tulsa and paying people like $10,000 to move to Tulsa. They're not actually helping any of their citizens that are already
They're
there.
not helping anybody.
No.
I mean,
It's
they're just not.
it says they want to turn it into the next Silicon Valley.
Yeah, we all know what happened there.
Yeah, I hate this place. I hate this fucking place.
Yeah,
but here's you hit a good point though, because that's going to happen to more and more towns all over the place, to the point where like everything's going to be either an Airbnb or a mansion or something that's completely vacant, because they're going to continue this whole thing until everybody is priced out of their own market.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen with capitalism. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true. Sorry, go ahead.
Just to explain further on, I just kind of rattled off about Ross Group or whatever. There's clearly a lot of development downtown, and they do restorations of like historical buildings and stuff like that. Among other things, I think they've done some stuff for Pentagon as well. But and obviously they're not the only one, but they had in 2018, which was 2 years after this guy became mayor. They were talking about like, oh man, we just have a record number of contracts, and we're just getting all this money. Like we're doing so well in downtown Tulsa, but yeah, Bynum was their fucking lobbyist in Washington. It's
wow.
That's public information. You can look it up. I mean, there's so.
Yeah, Tulsa's getting shitty. I don't even. I mean, obviously, it already was shitty. It's been shitty, but.
Yeah, it's just blatant. You don't have to dig very deep.
It's not ever going to get any better, as much as they like to pretend that it will.
Anyway, I still have to eat dinner.
Positive.
So we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah,
and,
I gotta get to.
To those of you in the comments,
raised by wolves.
And those of you on the screen, of course. But to those of you in the comments, thank you for joining us on this 3-hour tour that took 3 tries.
Yeah, real quick, Natalie says maybe that's their plan, and she's absolutely correct. The end stage of capitalism is feudalism.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
I
as
want to know
simple
why
as
John
that.
Tickler doesn't like Bill Maher, because I fucking hate Bill Maher.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about? I think I like him. Bill Maher.
Yeah, no, I like whenever I first started dating Kyle, like I walked in one time while he was asleep and Bill Maher was on, and I almost just left.
I haven't watched Bill Maher in like the last 5 years because he was such a dick about Bernie.
I can't fucking
But-
stand Bill Maher. He's
Oh, he'll
so
have anyone on that
irritating.
agrees with him.
If you want to talk about king of the shit libs, it's Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It's
It's
okay.
true.
He's not racist though. He talks about how much he likes black women.
Right.
Wait, don't talk about John.
Fuck. That's harsh.
Wait,
John, she didn't mean it. She didn't mean it, John.
No,
You go, Ahab.
You're fine. Just pass it on to Tickler. It's the same thing. You'll just be like, it wasn't me. I don't know. It's just funny about
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that. I didn't hear it.
But yeah, thank you guys very much. I had fun. It's always a good discussion with you guys. So thank you for having me be here.
You're welcome anytime.
I can't do that.
Same to Kyle,
How do you
same
do
to
it like
John. You can't do that?
The Vulcan.
I'm dumb.
Oh, the live long and prosper?
I can't. It gets crooked.
Yes.
I can't do it.
You're all like,
Can you do that?
Right.
oh, I cannot do that, Nathan. I am not that coordinated.
Don't fret, because I can't
Wait.
play my pentonics, so we're even, bro.
Yeah, I guess my left will do it. That's weird.
There you go.
I'm
No,
right.
that's just fake.
You just think it's too hard about it.
Oh man.
All right,
Alright,
have a good night,
leaving.
guys.
That was embarrassing.
That's
You can't do
forever
your
on
A
the
game.
internet now.
It is.